Are narcissists the modern-day Casanova? Well, many people seem to think so. Several reviewers who read my book, Love You More, stated the reason I stayed so long in that toxic marriage was because of the hot, steamy sex, or some magical quality of my ex's endowment, if you catch my drift. Which made me wonder if they read the same book I wrote. I'm going to debunk this popular myth by exposing what really goes on behind closed doors with a narcissist. If you've always wondered if intimacy is possible with a toxic partner, if the risk of getting too close with that person is worth it, then this video is going to satisfy your curiosity. Maybe you're a survivor who hasn't been able to talk about the dark side of intimacy with a narcissist. Then I want you to know you're not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Kerry Kerr McAvoy, a licensed mental health clinician with over 20 years of counseling experience, and unfortunately, I'm also a narcissistic abuse survivor. I tell my story in the first episode in this series, How Love Nearly Cost Me My Life, and in my book, Love You More. If you'd like to check out either one of those, I've put the links in the show notes below. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. This is the 9th episode in a year-long series called Toxic Love, where each week I deconstruct a pathological love relationship from start to finish. Let's take a closer look at what goes wrong, the controversial and uncomfortable stuff. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to learn more about dysfunctional relationships. And you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video. I'm going to let you in on a dirty little secret most narcissistic abuse survivors don't share about sex with a narcissist. The dark side of why so many of us tolerate an often empty and degrading experience. Something that makes me feel uncomfortable, somewhat ashamed, and definitely sad about. But I'm going to save that for the end. To understand the reason why sex with a narcissist isn't all that it's cracked up to be, it's important to review what narcissistic personality disorder is. The clinical manual used to diagnose NPD, the DSM-5, lists 9 characteristics. Now, I'm not going to take the time to go through all 9 of them, but several are key to this problem. Particularly the difficulties narcissists have being empathic towards others, their insatiable need for attention, and their inflated self-importance. Imagine you can't envision another person's experience. Your only worldview is of you, and you're blind to all the other people's existence. Only your needs and desires matter, and in that world, there's only you, which makes you special, even godlike. This perspective would shape everything you do, from your priorities to your goals and the end results that you're pursuing. All that would matter to you is you and your experiences. This is how narcissists see the world. But there's another problem. Narcissists have what's called low receptive capacity. Have you noticed how for them there's never enough? It would be like being constantly hungry, that no matter how much you ate or consumed, you could never quench that driving need for more. What they experience and take in doesn't fill them up. They're like a leaky cup. No matter how much you pour in, all the love and attention and admiration, it just drains out the bottom. So take all of these qualities that I just described and wrap them up into one person. That's what a narcissist is like. And none of that translates well when it comes to the bedroom. Because fantastic sex requires 2 people getting naked with each other, not just when it comes to clothing, but also with who we are. It's the vulnerable act of seeking our needs for pleasure with and in the presence of someone else. There's a lot of bad sex happening, and sometimes we don't care. We just want to get off. But what I'm talking about is something different. It's about being known, seen, and enjoyed. That's what real sexual intimacy is, according to Dr. David Schnarf, a psychologist and sexologist who's treated thousands of couples and written and researched on this subject. Only what he calls wall socket sex is possible under these conditions. He writes, quote, "There's no beauty in sex. The beauty is in people. You can't see the beauty in sex, you have to put it in. Sex becomes beautiful when we bring our personal beauty to it. The issue isn't simply who your partner is and whether you're in love or how good you can do it. It's who you are." Whoa, now that's a tall order for most of us, but for a narcissist, impossible. So where did this notion that narcissists are great lovers come from? I think it comes from two misconceptions. First, we've mistaken the romantic gestures shown in the love bombing stage as signs of an attentive, loving, sensitive lover, instead of seeing them for what they really are, armed weapons brought to the fight to defeat an opponent. That's right. Partners aren't partners. They're competitors in a game of war. Secondly, we fail to recognize intimacy isn't built on charming behavior, but on authentic vulnerability. Giving gifts and lavishing attention on someone isn't the same as getting to know them and who they are and what brings them joy. So what is intimacy like with a narcissist? Well, it's a performative act that's very lonely. Narcissists are all about themselves. It isn't about pleasuring the partner, but rather about getting off. They like to watch themselves, which causes them to miss critical social cues. They misread what's happening with and in the other person. With some narcissists, the partner's pleasure is ignored as unimportant, whereas others, their partner's orgasm is the prize that's sought after to affirm the narcissist's power and control. The focus is on the physical aspect of sex, not on the emotional connection. It's all about fucking, not loving. And as I said before, sex is a useful weapon to keep the narcissist partner in line. They use it as a form of reward and punishment through the use of giving and withholding in order to maintain control. The frequency is solely determined on the narcissist's interest and whether it serves their purpose. Cheating and serial cheating are huge problems in these relationships, but I'm going to save that topic for another time. So what about that dirty little secret I mentioned at the beginning? Why do narcissistic partners put up with this kind of degradation? Because narcissists don't choose narcissistic partners. Sandra Brown's research in 2014 in Purdue University found that 63% of all victims were normal functioning individuals who were doing well in their life until they met the narcissist. These people, however, had two key qualities that set them apart from the rest of the population. They had a high degree of agreeableness and conscientiousness. What that means, these people's personalities are the opposite of the narcissist. They're caring, loyal, sensitive, and empathic. They believe in the goodness of others and even in the goodness of that toxic partner. And they believe that change is possible. If there's a hopeless romantic in the mix, it's them, not the narcissist. They believe in the capacity of true love to save their partner, and they show up over and over again thinking that maybe next time their passion will kindle a fire in the narcissist and save the relationship. Yeah, I know, pretty idealistic and highly unlikely, but it was true for me. Some think that this is actually a masochistic tendency, that maybe for some victims that's true. Maybe some victims think unconsciously they deserve to be treated casually, like a piece of meat. But it's not true for everyone. Some of us over-identify with our partners. Our sense of self gets merged with theirs. Instead of protecting our safety by getting out, we throw our efforts into saving the narcissist as a way to save ourselves. That certainly was true for me. So, did any of what goes on behind closed doors with a narcissist surprise you? Or maybe you spotted some key issue that I missed. If so, let me know. And if you found this video informative or interesting, I hope you've hit the like button and that you'll stick around by subscribing to my channel. Be sure to come back next week because I'm going to do a deep dive into cognitive dissonance. If you always wondered why victims can't leave, you're going to find out next week. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out last week's when I uncover the truth about narcissists and their mask.